So we're gonna go to our next question. I think there's also some questions in the Q&A, but we can get to those right at the end. My second last question to you, as we come to a close, and thank you to everybody that has hung around with us up until now. Do you see pleasure as an infiltration tactic? Can you imagine, or have you seen a time when delight became a form of sabotage? Oh, that's deep. Do you see pleasure as an infiltration tactic? And can you imagine, or have you seen a time when delight became a form of sabotage? Any takers? Nyambura.
Fine, I'll take this.
Thank you.
So I'm going to tap into the well that Tanveer seems to have tapped into and talk about something that's not necessarily the funniest thing, but yeah. So I was saying I'm going to tap into whatever Tanveer is on right now and talk about something that might not feel necessarily positive, but like I don't know if you guys have seen this video, and she's talking about how for a bit she wasn't sure where he was or what had happened to him, and she's so glad to see him, and she looks forward to being a journalist because of how inspired she is by him. And I only found that video on the day he was martyred, and the thing is, like, it's a weird, it was a weird juxtaposition. But I think about that. I've been thinking about that, and when I saw that question, I thought about that video again, this notion of this moment of pleasure, this moment of joy coming and sort of like interfering with this feeling we have right now. And even though it involved somebody who just passed away, which can be not triggering thing for some of us, it was also like this person lived. They had these moments of joy. And I think one of the things that the bleakness of the world can take away from us is that knowledge, there is joy, there's pleasure, there's community, and we can always tap into it, even in the bleakest moments.
Thanks for that, Nyambura. Yeah, and in relation to what you just shared right now, I can see how that is some kind of infiltration tactic. Are there any other strong like feelings or Tanveer? Yeah. Okay.
Sandra, you go ahead. I will go next.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sandra.
Thank you, Tanveer. I think I want to piggyback off Nyambura's point. I mean, as if-ish. For me, I just want to bring in the fact that joyful activities, pleasurable activities have become monetized a lot, which takes away the pleasure, which takes away the joy of this activity, like music, movies, content on social media platforms, art, and other forms of creativity. Like I don't know if it's I don't know, there's been like an entire shift of monetizing pleasurable and joyful activities and pushing people who are like creative and do this as a hobby or as a way to decompress, as an outlet, as a way to deal with the world, has been monetized. Yeah, like it's just everything it takes the pleasure away. Like it takes the pleasure away from the thing, right? Like even if, yeah, like Annette is saying, like even if you have to pay to access services that bring you joy, like I don't know, it's for me it's the monetizing, like it's the capitalism that's just eating at every small thing, right? Like even if it starts out as probably content creation, right? Around just showing the world in a satirical or like a funny way, how you see the world, how you experience life, it then becomes like there's a push to monetize that content, there's a push to grow the page, there's a push to push this deeper. There's a push from like brands bringing in merchandise that you need to market. They are bringing in money that you need, that you can't say no to, right? Like it's, yeah, putting money and pleasure and joyful activities together has really just ruined the experience, in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Tanveer?
Um, I think being queer, the queer joy, the queer pleasure has become very inflated right now. And being, like there's so many exhausting situations going around. Like being queer costs you a lot right now. Okay. Like there is no like if you simply say like I'm being queer and I want to have pleasure, that's something like the whole, so-called the society has been so much, like response to this whole situation. So I don't have a specific answer to this, but still I would say like I think this whole queer delight, queer joy, queer pleasure, it's becoming a sabotage from the society, or like the heteropatriarchy right now. I think it's more likely that. I think that's something I experience, because whatever I express as myself, I will be always queer. I will be always feminist. Okay, even I'm speaking to all of you, I cannot separate my feminism and my queers existence from myself, right? But I think simply existing, like having this conversation with you all as in a feminist queer space, and that giving me pleasure. But I don't think like this would be perceived is really greatly if you go like online with this like work, right? So there's so many sabotages will come to us. So I think I kind of like think like that way. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Annette, anything jumping out for you? No is also an answer.
So, I answered. So, like I said, when I saw this question, I misread it because, yeah, I read things. It has to be some form of dyslexia. Like there's something. I'm not being diagnosed, but there's something. So my answer to this was just like, which is in direct opposition to what Tanveer has just said, is that like the joy of queer people is an active irritant. I guess, which is just my way of just like wrapping this up, right? It's just like, remember that your joy is an active irritant. The opposition revels in your sadness and your oppression, and our unhappy lives, or just like our unhappiness, is fodder to them. And so our joy must be as loud, if not louder, than our sadness. So that was what, I mean, I read it wrong, and I was just sitting here trying to like digest the question, which then led me to a video I saw just before this webinar, it's on Instagram, it's on a news platform, and they were talking about how if you're Kenyan, you know Ogopa DJs. So let me put it this way, if you're Kenyan of a certain age, you know Ogopa DJs. And so they're talking about how Ogopa DJs is back with this song from this girl. And so this song starts, and I'm like, oh, that's a nice beat. And as all Kenyan songs nowadays tend to do, she was talking about sex. And I don't know if I should censor some of this, but anyway, she was
Too late. You've already sweared. It's too
So,
late.
she was
Go
talking about
ahead.
sex. And then she says, this is like on a, she says how it's been a while since she's had sex, but she's met this girl. And I'm like, hey, excuse, what is this? Just like queer affirming music in the middle of my day. And so she's talking about how she's met this girl, and like she's just essentially having the best sex of her life. And then I went to, so for me, I was just like, hey, nice. It was like, ooh. And then I obviously went to the comments, and somebody wrote, I was enjoying this song until the lyrics hit my ears like a razor blade dipped in lemon. And I was like, in that instance, my joy was an infiltration tactic, right? Like a joy, like it forced this person, you know what I'm saying? Like in that way, right? this delight became a form of sabotage. Like this man was forced to reckon with this queer fantasticness, you know? So in that moment, like, I was just like, ha, serves you right. So yeah. It's a
So you
fantastic song. It
so
has
you
a
did. So please share the song with us, Annette, so that I didn't know this. This is new to me. And you did not misunderstand the question. I think you understood it how you needed to understand it, right? So if this was an exam, you'd still get a grade. you
a grade.
you get a very good grade. You'll be graded. And so and I think just